exploring the controversy of Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange. Upon the film's release in 1972, A Clockwork Orange gained a stark cult following, subsequently shrouding the film in controversy, so much so that the film went on to be removed by Kubrick in the UK following its release due to fears of groups attempting to replicate the almost fantasy-like violence depicted in the film. A Clockwork Orange takes an especially unique take on violence, with the violent acts in the film being portrayed alongside an ensemble of music coupled with extravagant and almost choreographic movements portrayed by the Droogs, garnering distinctive and stylish clothing, seeming to stylize and glorify the violent acts depicted in the show, thus virtually detaching the viewer from feelings of depravity and thus pushing the viewer closer to normalization and even glorification of the violence within the film. This stylish and almost glorified view of the violence is the main catalyst for the controversy surrounding the film, as fears of groups looking to replicate the violence began to surge, with a Labour MP stating at the time that when A Clockwork Orange is released it will lead to a clockwork cult, and sadly shortly after the release of the film Kubrick would go on to receive a multitude of threats surrounding the controversy of the new film, so much so that Kubrick decided to completely pull A Clockwork Orange from the UK, a decision that he would never change his mind about until the film was re-released following his death. Sadly for Kubrick, a lot of these fears did end up ringing true, and a series of crimes bearing many similarities to the crimes committed in the film began to surface. During the short run in the UK cinemas, there were several serious assaults ranging from GBH all the way to murder, and in many of these cases, details from the film were replicated in exact harmony, with reports of groups committing assaults while chanting "Singing in the Rain," the song that Alex sings while breaking into the writer's house, and another instance involved a teen going as far as to garner the exact same costume worn by the Droogs during an assault on an innocent civilian. Upon learning of these atrocities, Kubrick was utterly distraught, as this in turn went against the very reason he actually created the film in the first place. Kubrick stated in many interviews prior to the removal of the film in the UK that it wasn't so much a film about violence and more of a film about anti-violence, with the main focus being on the government's handling of Alex preceding his arrest, with it being more of a question about free will and whether we lose our humanity if we're depraved for the basic choices between good and evil. This in turn actually fits the title of the film, A Clockwork Orange, describing something that's organic on the outside yet mechanical on the inside, which is essentially what the government have done to Alex in removing his ability of choice. Kubrick wanted us to focus on more of the political aspects of the film rather than the violence, with the second half highlighting the political battle between the left and the right that Alex has kicked off. But of course in reality it did not go down this way, and a lot of people do pin the blame solely on Kubrick for his portrayal and poetic portrayal of the violence within the film. However, I believe it says more about our society and the fact that we can relate so closely to something that's so violent. And in many of the instances of these copycat crimes, the defendant often brought up the fact that they had somehow related to Alex's story on some sort of personal level. And now, in all fairness, we are a fair distance away from a dystopian reality similar to what is portrayed in A Clockwork Orange. It really garners that question as to how close really are we. I don't think it's something that is too far-fetched nowadays, to be honest, where we have a society that's so violent to a point where the government feels it's necessary to implement such extreme measures such as removing the ability to even make the choice between good and evil in the first place. Clockwork Orange is an interesting and amazing film, and I hope you guys did enjoy watching. Do leave your comments down below what your thoughts are and what your thoughts are surrounding the controversy. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day as well. Take care. Bandman out.